This just might be the first time I have had a toilet in my office. I'm Julie Tam, managing broker of Lynn Realty in Houston, and thank you for joining me for Smarter Real Estate Weekly on Wednesdays. It's been a while. Yeah, I've been really busy with everything in life, but I'm ready to show you the next phase of the remodeling project I'm doing at my mom's new home. New to her, not new as in brand new, hence the remodeling. And this week on Smarter Real Estate, we're going to go over hardware and plumbing and lighting fixture selections, bathroom accessories, things like that, to give you a sense that you can actually design a pretty nice looking home on a budget. Okay, these are all from the Home Depot, very budget friendly, not their higher end things and not the cheapest things as well. And so I'll kind of go over my thought process with the colors, the materials, the design and style and that sort of thing, and just show you what I've come up with. You can see, that there are ceiling fans and different light fixtures, toilet paper holders and towel rings and all sorts of things, door hardware over at the far end, all delivered to my office. And the contractor will be picking them up to put in her new house once we are ready with that shortly. Over the past few months, because I've been busy with so many different things, this project hasn't moved along as fast as it would if I was just dedicated to this. And so, yeah, but I want to show you the remodeling vision boards that I've come up with. Now, one caveat is I am not a designer. I have never been trained as any sort of interior designer, decorator, or anything along those lines. I am a real estate broker. That's all I am here. So you designers out there can totally make fun of my vision boards and my poor design skills in that regard. But you know what? This is the first time I'm creating this, and I never went on, YouTube or TikTok or whatever you cool people like to use to figure out how to do this. I've just seen some vision boards in my time, and I didn't even try to go by that. I just did what makes sense to me and put it in there. I'm more of a left brain person, so I've got all the facts, the rules, and the money down, and all those decisions. And so my creativity comes through secondarily. So this is the exterior of her home. In fact, when some contractors were working on it, so you can see that it is a more traditional look of a red brick home built about 20 years ago, roughly. And we are trying to make her home inside more of a transitional modern style with still some elements of traditional, because her old furniture will be coming over, and there will be some pieces that are a little bit newer, some that came from our previous home that we've given to her. And then, of course, we're remodeling it, making it look much nicer. So we want to kind of bring it up to a little bit more current trends, okay? But still something that's going to blend well. So starting with door hardware throughout the home. So right now there's this old, kind of brass color, old school knobs like this. My mom is an elderly person, and she's just going to continue to get older. Arthritis will set in probably more so. And so we wanted to make sure that she has these lever style handles. So some of these pictures, I just took this picture at Home Depot and I just wrote on the screen, with the little digital writer thing. This is a Singapore lever in matte black color by Kwikset. Kwikset has a smart key feature, which she likes, having the smart locks to be able to change her keys, rekey more easily without having to change out the entire lock. So if she ever needs to rekey, we can more easily get that done. And so this is the style that we are going for. So the interior doors will have this, that, actually the interior doors, not with the actual key thingy, but that they're going to look like that. Over here, we've got the front door lock. It's called San Clemente. It's a Venetian bronze. This particular color here, we're going to have with the lever handle like this, the fixed door handle on the front door. And then you can see down here the bed and bath handles where it's going to have a lock, but not, any sort of keyhole. And then up here, the back door and the door to the garage. So yeah, actually, I don't know why I wrote interior door on that, but maybe just like to say that that's the look we were going for at the time when I was in the store. So anyway, so this is going to be here. And then we can see the hall and closet doors that do not have locks are going to be like this. So, I've put the pricing in. You can kind of see at that time, the prices, change frequently. In fact, some of the prices on a lot of these things went up by, about $5 or so, just over the course of a few months from late 2024 to early 2025. But yes, like each item is going to be in the 30 something dollar range. And of course, if you buy more than 10, it's going to be less expensive. Looking in the interiors, So Snowbound by Sherwin-Williams is the color that we have in the interior of our home. If you go back through my YouTube channel and look at building my dream home, there was a whole series about that. We designed our own custom luxury home build, and then living in my dream home subsequent to that, showing you videos after we had moved in. And so I did go with a little bit of the similar design concepts here and there. I'll point out where, but most of this is very different and just unique for my mom's home. But yes, all the interiors, literally walls, ceilings, doors, shelves, trim, will be painted the Snowbound color. And then I'm going with these door stops. I don't like the ones that have the spring because it's very easy for kids, like her grandkids, as in our sons, to go over there and play with them or whatever. You know, not so much our older one now, but our little one when he gets a little bit older, and then have it be like boing, you know, and don't like that. So I like the solid one, which is the kind that we have in our home. These are not the same as what we have, but it's the same concept. So Everbuilt matte black, solid doorstop, and then of course the hinge pin doorstop. So pretty affordable at, you know, less than $1 a piece if you buy a 10 pack, which we definitely would need that many. But yes, this would be the hinge stop where there's not a good place for the door to hit a doorstop in a baseboard, for example. And so this would go into the hinge of the door just to keep the door from opening past a certain point. By the way, if you hear any slight congestion or strangeness in my voice, it's because I'm getting over allergies and a cold. All right, so this is the foyer. This is showing what exists there now, just a really boring round globe. We're obviously going to change out the sheer window coverings. All the window coverings are getting changed out. But so I went ahead and picked out this light. I liked the fact that it's just square, it's simple, it still has an element of traditional, but it's a little bit more modern. So this is by Home Decorators. It's the Wayburn 6-light chandelier in bronze finish. So we're going for like that dark bronze and also a black look for a lot of the hardware and also the lighting fixtures. And then I'll show you some of the other schemes we've got going on. So this is the floor. It's the new Kent Gray wood look tile that was being installed and in my last video actually about this. And so this is already down in her home. And it transitions to a darker wood on the stairs. We didn't want this dark wood throughout the house, but we also didn't want to spend the money to rip all of this wood out and change it. So we thought, you know what, it's still within roughly the similar, you know, color scheme. It's not like one has a very yellow tone and the other one's very gray. And so this works. And we're also going to have the handrail stained to match this flooring. So that way it will just tie it in better and have fewer different colors. So you can see I've got links to each of the products, so we can see a clean version, and when I double click it, I can see it better. $149, very reasonable price for the chandelier. I use ChatGPT a lot for this because I had forgotten some of the dimensions and the proportions that you're supposed to use in terms of like how wide, how tall, you know, should a light fixture be in what size room. And so I went ahead and, you know, just plugged into ChatGPT for this size room, this dimension, you know, width and depth, and then the ceiling height, what size light fixture should I have? And is it okay to mix, you know, round versus square fixtures and things like that? And so the idea is you don't want to have too many shapes, but it's okay if you have sort of a consistent theme going throughout. So because we're doing the dark color, I can have this more squared, angular shape in one room, or even, you know, if it's a totally different room or an adjacent room, I could do a round shape if it's the same color. Or I could do two different shapes, but I'm sorry, or I could do the same shape, but two different colors, for example. So there's ways to kind of blend and not make it, you know, tacky or too much or too busy. And so that's what I've tried to do here. Okay, so in the powder room, this is what it currently looks like. The new flooring has been installed. It has a pedestal sink. Now, I did not like this old toilet paper holder. It's just very basic, boring, probably one of the cheapest ones, just this like silver. I don't even know if it's, you know, chrome or stainless steel, whatever it is. And so we're definitely going to change that out. We see the light bar here, very uninspiring. The framed mirror, we're going to keep, you know, as is, but of course, painting it the new color Snowbound. And of course, Snowbound will replace this light green color. This frame and this towel will go away. The towel bar, again, similar to this toilet paper holder, very basic, very boring and cheap. So what we're doing is, instead of a towel bar, we're doing a towel ring. That's more appropriate for the size of this powder room and the style here. Delta Portwood, so it's made by Delta, which also makes faucets, less than 20 bucks in brushed nickel, very affordable. Up here, we have this really pretty Hampton Bay Champlain, 23-inch roughly, or 22-inch, a 3-light brushed nickel modern bathroom vanity light with clear glass shades, coming in at just under $80. So again, very affordable, but it looks nice. And I like the simplicity of this and the elegance. You know, it just has this cylindrical long part and then these cylindrical light globes or covers. And so see how we've transitioned from that dark, black color into the light fixtures where we're doing, and also plumbing fixtures where I'm doing mostly in brushed nickel. So we've got really just two colors going on in the home, which is perfectly fine. Okay, let's see here. Here is the Kohler 4-inch Sunday 2-handle bath faucet center set. You want to make sure when you order your faucets that you're ordering it for what holes you actually have in your sink or in the countertop. And so this one, $109. I thought Kohler would be a nice fixture to have right there in her powder room. Here's the link to it. But this has a nice blend of a transitional to a more modern style. And so you can see here how it can replace the old one. You can't have a single hole faucet because this has 3 holes, faucet head, and then the 2 handles. So it has to be consistent. One challenge though is our contractor said it might be challenging to have to get back in there. There's not a lot of space to work with a shallow pedestal sink like this. This is actually shallower in the picture than it really looks in person. And so he might encounter a challenge. It might be that we cannot replace it. We have to just return this, or I might get a more skilled contractor to work on that because we don't want to have to pull the sink away from the tile and put it back and attach it. So yes. All right, matching with the same set of the towel ring is this Delta Portwood wall mount pivot arm toilet paper holder. So meaning that this arm comes up and down. It's not the spring one because again, thinking about the elderly, when their hands are not as coordinated, having them try to do the spring toilet paper holder and then the spring falls out and all the little pieces, that's just too hard. This is so easy. I don't like the open-ended ones because it's too easy for the toilet paper to fly out if people are pulling it in the wrong direction. And so this is my favorite kind. $25, less than. All right, and this is the toilet that's sitting in my office, a Glacier Bay Hartridge one piece. One piece makes it more expensive, but the thing is, she doesn't want one of those where you press it on the top of the tank. It's harder to do. She wanted a traditional handle and a dual flush for water savings. Most of the single flush are going to be 1.28 gallons per flush of water used. This one has the option of 1 gallon, which is the water saving one, or if you go number 2, then 1.6. And the elongated was the shape of seat that we want for people that's more comfortable. So it is a more expensive toilet, $288. You can get a toilet at about less than half that price, actually low 100s, if you're not going for those features. In the dining room, the current chandelier looks like this, very traditional. It's fine, but not very exciting. So I decided I wanted to go for this $109 Hampton Bay Moreland 5 Light Oil Rubbed Bronze hanging wagon wheel candlestick chandelier. Again, with the roundness and these bulbs, it goes along with some of the shapes we've seen already and in the color as well. And here you can see it on the website. And more context here, the dining room, the range has been moved out for kitchen remodeling. This is the front formal living room. We'll have 4 recessed lights installed up here. That's the plan anyway, to give more lighting because there's no lights installed up there. In the kitchen, so the quartz countertops have been installed to replace the former Formica ones. Cabinets are covered during that dusty, dirty work. I will have the cabinets painted. Let me see, did I put the color here? Yep. Paved stone, Sherwin-Williams. We have this on our kitchen cabinets and also our guest bath in our home. And so we like that color and we think it works really great with the rest of the color scheme. You can see the wood-looking tile flooring that continues here in the kitchen. So we're going to replace these pendant lights, these 2 above the island, with 2 of these. Again, you can see Hampton Bay Moreland. You want to try to go, if you can, with some of the same, collections or something similar in a different collection. You don't want 2 matchy-matchy, but we're just doing some of the same collection and then some of them are varying. So these come in at less than $80 a piece. And this is the Moen Doherty single handle pull down faucet that we're going to use to replace here. I asked for a single hole in the quartz. We did not want to mess with this liquid soap dispenser because those tend to leak and then just cause problems. Oh boy, I'm going to have a video on that in the future about what's going on at my own home regarding that. Very interesting for you guys to learn about that. Okay, $189. And then this is the Bianco Palermo quartz countertops that are throughout the kitchen and also used in the master bath. This, let me see here. Okay, the handmade kitchen sink, almost $300 is what's installed. It's the stainless steel, nice rectangular single compartment, deep, will help her be able to wash pots and pans. In the breakfast right next to the kitchen, you can see this kind of country style light. We're replacing it with another Hampton Bay. This collection is actually Hastings, so different collection, but similar kind of round look. And again, this is a satin bronze finish. So oil rubbed bronze, satin bronze, different names for a pretty similar color. In fact, you'll find even if you have the same exact name like oil rubbed bronze, it will be a slightly different shade across different manufacturers. This is coming in at just under $100 and it's a 20-inch diameter. In the den, we're replacing this ceiling fan, which is pretty decent. It's got a lighter, more modern color, but I thought, hey, let's give her an even more modern ceiling fan, and again that black to go along with some of the other lighting. Hampton Bay Caprice 52-inch. You want to make sure your fan is the right size for the room. And this has got integrated LED indoor matte black ceiling fan with light kit and remote control. And then we're doing pavestone on the fireplace mantle up here and the trim surrounding the tile. We're leaving the tile the same. Let me see here. Yeah, and then the wall will be painted that white color, the snowbound that you saw earlier. Okay, the downstairs bedroom suite. This is an add-on that was added behind the home, and so there is a sconce light above what would be the head of the bed, and I don't like it. It's just kind of outdated. Same with the ceiling fan, and they're very basic, kind of almost like builder's quality. And so I've got the downstairs bedroom ceiling fan coming in to replace that Hampton Bay 48-inch Grantway indoor or covered outdoor ceiling fan with matte black finish. So this comes in two different finishes. It's a reversible blade. This is a darker wood. This is a lighter wood color. I believe the darker wood will end up being the one we choose, but since it's reversible, we can look at it when it gets here and or when it gets unboxed, and then decide from there. But this hardware part is the matte black. This one does not have a light kit. That's another thing you need to watch for. Is there a connection for the light kit or not? And so you want to make sure you get the correct one. This has a pull chain included, $99. Over here, I've got an old light fixture that I'm going to replace the sconce light on the wall with. This is actually it's brand new. It's still in the box. But from when we were living in our old home and I was selling a bunch of homes for that builder, he had extra stock left over at the end. And so he just gave me several things actually. And this light fixture is one of them. It's actually for a vanity, as in for a bathroom, but it's not like you can really tell that this is specifically for a vanity. And so we thought, hey, this is a great use for it. 3-bulb oil rubbed bronze by Hampton Bay. All right, and then the downstairs full bath that's linked to this bedroom. I thought optional, if we can't clean up this light fixture that has like paint and residue on it, we could replace it with this. This would tie into the one you just saw for the bedroom. This is also an extra overstock that the builder gave it to me. Hampton Bay oil rubbed bronze, 2-bulb on this one. But if this can be cleaned up, I think this works just fine. And in fact, this brushed nickel will match the rest of the things. So there's this shower head. We're actually gonna see if it can be also cleaned up from all the hard water and stuff, because it's okay. And if it can be used, we'll leave it there. We don't need to replace things unnecessarily. There used to be one of these 2 soap dishes that's built into the wall was maroon and the other one was white. Obviously very mismatched, horrible. So our tile guy already replaced the other one to coordinate better, right? So this is the built-in vanity here. We're going to replace the existing faucet, again, a little bit more old school looking. Here's a close-up of it with this one, a 4-inch. Again, you've got to have the correct type. The center set, 3 holes. Graydon is the line, the collection there, and it's $89. Behind the door, you've got 2 towel rods. At least one of them is actually like crooked. It was just not well installed at all. So we're actually going to remove this one that has the 2-tone gold and silver. Doesn't look so good. And we're going to move this one up higher, probably to where that is actually. And this one has a similar kind of line and silhouette as some of the other plumbing fixtures and bathroom accessories that we have. And so that'll work nicely. And then just clean it up. It's dusty and that'll work. So that's also in the brushed nickel. Or it might be a stainless steel, I'm not sure, but very similar. Okay, top of the stairs, again, one of these boring globes that goes along with the foyer. And so what I wanted to do to make sure I was coordinating these light fixtures well is I put a picture of the foyer light here, and then I'm like, okay, this is what I'm gonna put at the top of the stairs. It's a similar color. Both of them are the oil rubbed bronze finish. And this one is Hampton Bay Moreland, 13-inch 2-light semi-flush, as in it's not flush right up against the ceiling, but there's just a little bit of space, probably a couple of inches. So it's almost flush. $65, really good price. And you know what? It does coordinate well. And The design sources online say that you can have round and you can have angle because they're about the same color, and so it coordinates, even though you'll see them in the same line of sight. But they are for two different distinct spaces. In the game room, you'll see an X because this door between the master or the primary closet and the game room has been removed and sheetrocked in. And so you'll never know it was there. But this picture was taken earlier, and this is the existing flooring that will continue to stay. We're replacing this traditional ceiling fan with the home decorators Murray, I'm not really sure how to pronounce this, Murray, kind of a weird name, 48 inch. Well, sorry if that's your last name. I don't mean to say it's weird, but it's challenging, shall I say, for some of us to pronounce. Integrated LED indoor matte black with light kit and remote control coming in at $119. Most of the ceiling fans you can find are in the low 100 range, and you can find them, they look pretty sleek and nice, so you don't have to go too fancy on that. In the primary bedroom, also replacing the ceiling fan, you can tell that we've kind of got a similar scheme going on, not too many blades, a little bit more modern, very low profile. And because these ceilings are actually more low, they're 8-foot ceilings on both floors of this home, we want to make sure this down rod is not very long because otherwise it's going to be imposing. The ceiling fan is going to be way down, kind of like right over your head and make the ceiling feel even lower. Okay, this is almost $90. In the primary bath, currently, there's this old light fixture we'll be replacing. A mirror goes here that was taken off when the countertops were replaced from this fake granite-looking kind of Formica countertop to this nice quartz that I showed you. That was the same as in the kitchen. And this is a Portwood wall mount round closed towel ring to replace this kind of really basic, not so good looking towel bar. And this is only less than $20. Same exact towel ring as used in the powder. So it's okay to have that similarity translate into a different room. And then you have some similarities through the home that kind of tie things in. And then in this bathroom, we're replacing this light fixture with this. You'll recognize this same line of Champlain by Hampton Bay used in the powder room, but this is the 4-light fixture. In the powder room, I think it was a 3-light. And then this single handle, again, because I asked for a single hole, Moen Finley bathroom faucet, spot resistant brush nickel for $109. And so, yeah, that's great. This one, I guess I missed putting the price here, but it's just less than $100. The shower head, again, seeing if we can clean it up, either keep it or replace it. This toilet paper holder I thought looked nice and it works with our design scheme, so we're going to leave it there. This on the tub, the control and everything looks fine. I think they can just clean it up. And even though it's not super modern, it's not really egregious, so we'll just leave it as is. In the water closet, I mean, hardly anyone's going to see this little round light cover. Not really anything wrong with that, so we'll just leave that as is as well. The 2 upstairs secondary bedrooms have this really old school semi-flush mount light on the ceiling. And this was the original, state of the bedroom. Of course, we're removing things on the walls. The stars on the ceiling are gone, and replacing it with this really nice modern 13-inch diameter Arctica Alton. It's 1 light, and there you have it. So the final room, upstairs hall bath, is in a state of remodel right now. You can see this new tile. I love this dark gray tile. I had to convince my mom because she was like, I don't like dark. I like light, light, light. Well, this marble flooring is already light. It's white with the grayish veining. Then we have the new quartz countertops, right? Which is a white with light gray veining. And then the walls will be white. So it'll be plenty bright. The toilet, the bathtub, the cabinet, everything is white. So having this nice dramatic gray, I think really, really brings it out nicely. There's the Schluter or the edge protector of this silver, essentially a brush nickel around the product niche and also along the side of the tile here that got installed. We're waiting to replace the shower head, the tub faucet, and control before the tile contractor finishes tiling that wall. But for now, we've got, again, this Hampton Bay Champlain, same as a 3-light fixture. Now I'm starting to think the powder room actually has a 2-light fixture. Maybe it was a 3. Yeah, I think it was a 3. So the brush nickel going in here for $80 to replace this existing very simple one. And then this Delta Portwood, again, the same one that's in the powder room. We don't need to reinvent the wheel. The style works for this home, and that's great. Moen Finley, you recognize this from the primary bath we just looked at for the faucet at the sink. And here we have Delta Portwood towel rod, okay? same line, same collection of the Delta Portwood for the other bathroom accessories. And this, a 24-inch towel rod is for almost $27. One note is that, if you're trying to replace a towel rod or towel ring, there's almost no point in trying to find the exact size to put in the holes that used to be in the wall for the old one, because they can just easily cover up those holes, fill them in, paint over it, and then install the new one so you don't have so much headache. And then you can see that this is the quartz from the showroom that was put into this bathroom for the countertops. And that's it, folks. And so, yeah, once everything's installed and the home is, ready to go, I'll shoot more videos, of course, showing you that. And I appreciate you watching, and I hope to receive your feedback and comments and ideas for any future videos. And if you have questions, feel free to ask, and keep watching Smarter Real Estate Weekly on Wednesdays right here on YouTube. And well, actually, you could be watching on LinkedIn. Well, actually, no, it's still linked from YouTube, so it'll take you to YouTube. Whatever. The point is, keep watching. And on Facebook as well, I add the link each time. And yeah, if you have any real estate needs you want to contact me for, I represent buyers, sellers, tenants, and landlords for investment properties and homes that you would occupy. I'd be happy to talk to you more. Have a great week, and I'll see you later. Bye-bye.